Alright, so the 34 rules to becoming a serial self-made multimillionaire. You don't necessarily have to follow all 34 of them, but the more of them that you follow, the better off you will do. So Maverick Rule number 1, it's got to be a big idea that you, your team, and your customers can get in seconds. So if it takes you a long time to explain what you do, then either you're explaining it wrong or you need to find something else to do. So I had a company that wanted to partner with us, and they were a social media marketing firm, but they had developed this really cool program that did blah 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 blah. And I said, okay, what does it do? They were referred by another client. He said, well, I got to do an in-person presentation for an hour with him. I said, something's wrong. I said, what do you mean? I said, you don't need an hour to explain to me what you do. Yes, I do. I said, okay, give me 30 seconds. Well, I can't. I said, okay, there's a problem already. If you can't explain it in 30 seconds, how is anybody going to get it? So I went on their website and I looked at their stuff and I said, you know, I do this for a living. I still don't get what you do. It took me actually getting inside the software and seeing it to get what they do, and they do something phenomenally amazing that I was like, wow, this is really exciting. But they have like a 1-hour sales video on their site trying to explain it all. And I said, I got lost in like the first 2 minutes. So it's got to be simple. And one of the best ways I found of explaining this is from, how many people have read Jim Collins' book, Good to Great? Okay, that's your book for next month. Jim Collins, Good to Great. And this is what's called a BHAG, a big, hairy, audacious goal. This isn't, I just want to make good pizza. This is, we met with an attorney yesterday who now wants to change the entire face of the legal industry, nationwide. Not just, I want to get some clients in my local area, but I want to change the whole game. You don't have to have that big a desire, but it's got to be a big, hairy, audacious goal that gets you really, really excited and that people understand really well. It also makes you more referable, because if someone said, what do I do? And I said, well, we do direct response marketing and through social media, through websites, TV, radio, print, direct mail, all that. Okay, that's nice. Good for you. What do? I double your sales in 12 months and give you your money back. You get it in 10 seconds. You know you answered the question right if the response to what you do, you tell them and they say either how do you do it, tell me more, or how do I get some. If it's anything else, you're doing it wrong. Or wording it wrong. Does that make sense? Yes. Some people think it makes sense. Okay. Number 2, strive to create 10 to 100 times in value for any price you charge. So if someone's giving you $100, they should feel like they got at least $1,000 in value back. You want to over-deliver. Your rewards will be proportionate to the value you provide. I was listening to Mastering Influence by Tony Robbins, well, in the car almost every day, and I'm still working on it. But he had a really good quote in there. He said, the reason entertainers get paid more than educators is because people would rather be entertained than educated. So, entertain them. And he was talking about why movie stars get paid so much. It's because they're entertainers, and instead of entertaining 20 people, they're entertaining 20 million. And they're okay, so if Julia Roberts gets 25 million for a movie and sells 1 million tickets, she touched 1 million people. There's leverage there, so she's getting paid 1 million times as opposed to getting paid once for doing a show at the community theater down the street. You must charge premium prices so you can have a large margin to provide an extraordinary value and experience. You need to charge more so that you can do more for your customer or your client. If you charge the same as everybody else, where's your edge? There isn't one. There is a whole lot of the reason why every fast food restaurant now has a $1 menu is because Wendy's came up with it and everyone said, oh my God, we got to do that too. But, so there's a whole lot of competition to be the cheapest. Are there a bunch of restaurants fighting it out to be the most expensive restaurant in Buffalo? There should be, but they're not. It's Chop House or Rue Franklin's, depending on what you order. And nobody's marketing that they're the most expensive, but they should be. Because the people who want the most expensive are going to cause you the least amount of your hassles. They're going to be the easiest customers, and they're happy to pay the price. So you can then spend the money on delivering a better experience. What's the difference between the anyone here been to the Chop House? Most of you. Okay, yes. Okay, anyone here been to McDonald's? What's the difference in ambiance? So does the Chop House spend a little bit more money on interior decorating than McDonald's does? Of course they do. Do they pay their waiters a little bit more than the teenagers who get $8 an hour to go, do you want fries with that? Of course they do. Number 4, provide a reason why customers should do business with you and pay you that premium price. It's not enough to charge it, you have to tell them why they're paying it. If they don't know, they won't pay. It needs to be a compelling reason why. If at all possible, and this is something we help our clients do, you need to develop a new category of what you do so that you're the only one who provides it, so they cannot go anywhere else if they want what you've got. So you're the only golf coach teaching mind technique synergy. You are the only financial planners providing a stock market rescue consultation. I think it was Kay or Reeds who tried to do it. They came up with their own diamond, the Leo. Said, oh, if you want the Leo, they advertised not Kay, they advertised the Leo diamond, and that was the only place you could get it. Until people figured out it was just a different way of cutting the thing. I have a wife who has a lot of jewelry, so. Number 5, get paid before you do any work. This is how you get richer. You get paid first, and then you do the work. Think about it, those teenagers working at McDonald's, how many are people who have quote-unquote normal jobs get paid after they've done a couple weeks of work. If you get paid every other week, or if you get paid every month, they're doing the work and then getting paid for it. You need the money up front. And when possible, figure out how to create recurring revenue so you can keep getting paid. This is a game changer for most businesses. Instead of making a transaction and getting paid once, you need to give them a reason why they need to pay you every month. So, for example, it could be we talked about the dog training membership site, where they get to sign in every month and watch the new video from Tom, and download the new ebook. And all of a sudden now they're paying you $49.95 a month, or $20 a month, or $200 a month, instead of paying you once and being done. Imagine if it's January 1st and you know, oh, I have $500,000 coming in this year, whether I show up for work or not. As long as I show up and do X, I've got $500,000 and I don't have to do any more work to get it. All of a sudden, life changes. Financial advisors get this with trails, residuals, fee-based asset management, where they get paid to think every month. The jewelry maintenance plan, where you automatically, if you lose it, or it gets broken, or whatever, you automatically get a free upgrade or a free replacement or whatever. And 80% of them will never use it. So it's free money. Okay, number 6, you get to make the rules for your business. Don't let industry norms dictate what you're going to do. So you should actually do this as an exercise when you go home at 3 in the morning and you wake up and you can't sleep because you're thinking about me. And you should write down everything you hate about your industry. Everything that drives you nuts. And then figure out a way to not have to deal with that. So one of the things in the marketing industry that drove me nuts was not getting a piece of my client's success. Wow, when I worked for a Fortune 500 company, okay, we do a big media campaign, and you get a percentage of the media buy in traditional advertising. And if it works, maybe they hire you again. And if it doesn't, they don't. Unless you're Burger King and you stick with the same agency forever, even though you're going down the tubes. So I said, let's change that, and let's make our compensation model based on results. We get paid if we get you sales. We don't, we don't. So now we're on the same side. Number 7, create your business around your life instead of settling for your life around your business. I don't know anybody who bought a McDonald's because they loved Big Macs so much, and it was their calling in life that they just had to serve as many Big Macs as possible, so they bought 10 McDonald's. They're buying a McDonald's because they want the lifestyle that they think owning a McDonald's will get them, which is teenagers can run my business, I don't have to be there, and I get a nice big fat check every month. So, another exercise, once you finish the first one, is what do I want my life to be? And then change your business to suit your life. Because most people, when they start their own businesses, end up creating themselves a job. And they work for one SOB, I tell you. was really demanding and expects them to work 16 hours a day and not take any money out of the business for a while. Flip it upside down. Number 8, force yourself to focus on the critically few proactive activities that produce exponential results. Don't focus on the minutia and the bullshit. I give you permission not to focus on that. So if you have some type of to-do list or calendar or whatever, divide your time by revenue producing time and non-revenue producing activities. And then start tracking what you do every day. And say, did this generate revenue for me or did this not? And if it doesn't, start outsourcing. Pay someone $8 an hour to do it. You'd be surprised how much of the stuff you do, okay, not crafting jewelry, but some of the stuff you do that you could pay someone $8 to $10 an hour to do. And free up your time to do what's most valuable. If you're a financial advisor, that's probably in front of a client, getting them to invest money or selling them a product. If you're in jewelry, it's probably getting someone to say, oh, I want a $10,000 engagement ring. It's not opening the mail, returning emails. I've recommended this before, but there's some folks here who haven't been here before. So you're going to go to rescuetime.com. And if you haven't done it yet and you're in the group, shame on you, go do it. It's $7. Rescuetime.com is software that you put on your computer, and at the end of every week it will tell you how productive you were. It will say you spent 47% of your time on Facebook. You spent 22% of your time answering emails. You spent 32% of your time on Excel. So I had to recode the software because Facebook for us is productive because we're doing it for our clients. So it's work, but normally it thinks it's a time waster. But it will now tell you how productive you are and how productive you are in comparison to all of the other Rescue Time users around the country. So you can say, wow, I'm really good. Or man, I spent 3 hours on email. I really got to stop that. It's funny, I brought my work computer home because I got a new work computer. But I forgot that the software was still on my work computer, which is now on my kids and my wife use because it's at home. And I didn't turn it off. So I kept getting emails saying, you are incredibly unproductive. You spent 27% of your time on nickjr.com. And I was like, no, I didn't. What the hell is this? And then I realized it was still on my old computer. So we are moving to new office space because we're expanding, and we're moving to that space until October, and then we're moving to our hopefully permanent home that is bigger. And we are sharing office space in the temporary office space. And one of the guys was with another company. One of the guys who worked for that company used to work with me and was like, oh, well, if Seth and his people are going there, I'm not doing it because I don't want to be in an office with him. And I said, I've said less than 2 sentences to this guy in 4 years. Why is he mad at me? What did I do? And it turned out that he was upset that I wasn't friendly in the office. I didn't go to the Christmas party. I didn't hang out at the water cooler. I didn't have lunch with everybody. I didn't talk to everybody who worked for that other company because we shared similar space. And I said, are you kidding me? I said, I'm not here to make friends. I'm here to make money. You know, I got in trouble with my wife because Bruce is my chief operations officer, and she asked me the other day what his kids' names were if he was married. I said, I didn't know. She says, you mean he's your COO and you don't know that? I said, why would that ever come up? Why would I ever need to know if he was, I apologized to Bruce before, but why would I ever need to know if he was married or had kids? And what their names were? That's me. My wife was a social worker, so it was important to her. Okay, so water cooler, minutia, BS. I don't have time for it, you shouldn't either. If you figure out how much money you want to make in a year, and then divide by the number of hours you want to work. So if you work a 40-hour work week, that's 2,000 hours with 2 weeks off. Okay, you want to make 200 grand, you got 2,000 hours, how much do you need to make an hour? Anybody want to do the math? Financial advisors, can you do the math? So, you now need to think about everything you do every day. Is it worth $1,000 an hour? So, a friend calls me, who's at another firm, want to go to lunch? You gonna pay me $1,000? No, why would I pay you $1,000? That's what my time is worth. I can't go. You gotta give me $1,000. I lost a lot of friends that way, but it turns out they were time wasters. You don't have to go to that extreme, but if you want to make that much money, is it worth your time? Okay, number 9, minimize startup risk but have maximum upside potential. So this is, You don't go to Site Scout and go, I'm going to spend, that's a great idea. That retargeting and CPV stuff is awesome. I'm going to spend 20 grand tomorrow. You start with the 200 bucks. You see how it works. And then you take the money you make from it and do more. Everything should finance itself so that you're not blowing a whole bunch of money to find out if something works. Or buy it from a marketing firm that has a guarantee. Okay. Get your idea out there as fast as possible. Let the market tell you if you have a winner or not. So there is a thing Dan taught me, good enough is good enough. It doesn't have to be perfect. It can have typos in it. It can be the wrong color. You just got to get it out the door. Because a good plan executed today is better than a perfect plan tomorrow. Get it out the door and see if it works. You can always make it pretty later. Find partners and team members who are strong where you are weak and appreciate being paid on results. So this is another thing from good to great. People will tell you, oh, you should work on your weaknesses. No, you shouldn't. You should work on making your strengths stronger and hire somebody else who can take care of your weaknesses. Because you spend all your time making... Listen, I suck at doing dishes. I really, really do. Traditional job theory or whatever says I should take classes, I should learn, I should get better at scrubbing dishes at home. Or I could just pay someone to do my dishes for me, because I can pay them $8 an hour and I can go make 3 or 4 or 5 or 20 grand an hour. This is why it's funny, the neighborhood we live in now is where we bought our starter house. First house, just got married, I hadn't even started the marketing company yet, I didn't have that much money. So it's more blue collar or blue or whitish collar. It's not the neighborhood my wife wants to be in, where we're moving to. So there are a whole lot of people in my neighborhood who mow their own lawns, shovel their own snow, paint their own houses. And I don't do any of that. I'm like, how come you don't mow your own lawn? I said, because I pay that guy $10 an hour. Don't you want to save that money? I said, no, because I can go make 5 grand in that hour. Why would I pay 10 when I could go make 5? And give him 10 bucks and I have $4,990 left. Does that make sense?
Too bad dishwasher.
I feel like I'm listening to myself.
That's a good thing. If this is foreign to you, you're either finally come home and welcome, or you're in the wrong place. In which case, I politely ask you not to come back. This is your new, as my wife would say, this is your new support group. And it's a support group for me because it is really hard to find people, for whatever reason, in Buffalo who get this stuff. If any of you have had that experience, but I talk to people who have regular jobs working for other people, or even regular business owners who aren't in this world, and it drives me nuts. Like even our friends who, I have a friend who's a partner in a medical practice and he's a surgeon. So he's highly educated, very affluent, very intelligent, but he still gets paid based on how many surgeries he performs. And so he gets up at 3 in the morning and goes and does an appendectomy for somebody. Because if he doesn't work, he doesn't get paid. And they don't get the concept of passive income. So I'm banging my head against the wall. So they're nice and I love them, but they still don't, they're still trading, they're highly compensated, but trading hours for dollars. You have to get off the hours for dollars track, because you will eventually run out of hours. Or you'll hit a cap on how many dollars you can make in an hour at your profession. So you have to figure out a way, which is what this is all for, to make money when you're not doing something. Get paid while you sleep. Does that make sense? Okay. Number 12, your reputation always counts. Honor your obligation and your agreements. I had a law firm that just came on board as a client, and I went to go pick up the contract and the check, and they said, we want your name on the contract, not just the company. We want you to be personally liable for this. And I said, why? They said, well, we had a client who was a landscaping company. He went bankrupt. 3 months later, started a new company, new landscaping company, borrowed a bunch of money, got a bunch of equipment, went bankrupt again, and he has done this like 10 times in a row. Defrauded his creditors, gone bankrupt, and then started over with a new corporation. We want you personally liable, so if for some reason your business implodes or you start another company, we still want our marketing. I said, so this guy has gone bankrupt, defrauded his creditors, started a new business, and gone bankrupt again like 10 times, right? Yeah. Why is he still your client? Well, because he keeps paying us to defend him against all his creditors. I said, is that your ideal client? That guy sounds like an asshole. Is that really who you want? Well, he writes us a check. So, honor your obligations and agreement. It should go without saying, but it doesn't. Don't get paid based on your hours worked. Get paid based on the value you're providing. There are preconceived notions about whatever industry you're in, about what your compensation should be, what it should cost to get what you sell. Don't let that define you. That's why you need to redefine what you sell so that they can't say, oh, you're a golf coach in Buffalo, you should get 20 bucks a session. No, I'm the celebrity golf coach who's the only one who can teach you this. You should pay me 30 grand for a weekend. Number 14, leverage your marketing, which will activate exponentially by using direct response methods and testing. So there are two types of marketing in the world. There is brand building. Get your name out there. Nike, just do it, which doesn't sell any shoes unless you spend billions of dollars. If any of you have billions of dollars, I know two guys who will invest it for you. If you don't, then you need to use direct response, which is not get your name out there, it's get people to actually do something. Number 15, measure and track your marketing so you know what's working and what's not. It's the beauty of direct response, you can track every penny. Bootstrap, having too much money leads to incredible waste and doing things using conventional means. So even if you had the money to start another company, I would tell you to, and that's what you wanted to do, I would tell you to pretend as if it had no money. Because one of the reasons, I just saw a list the other day of the 14 or 15 most common reasons businesses fail. Like 80% fail in the first 5 years. And literally one of them was too much, one was too little money, like number 14 was too much money. If you think about all the internet startups in the 90s who imploded, like Pets.webband.com that was going to deliver groceries to your house and spent millions on Super Bowl ads. If it didn't make any money. If you were a small business, would you spend $2 million on a Super Bowl ad? Of course you would. So you need to think like that, even if someone dies and leaves you $10 million. That way you won't waste the money. I mean, it's so common in Silicon Valley, it's called a burn rate. How fast you're going to burn through the money. How much you're going to burn per day. You shouldn't burn a dime. Why would you want to set your money on fire? Your partners and employees' actions are their true core, not what they tell you. My wife says this all the time. If I tell her something, she says, talk is cheap. Show me. Because anybody can tell you anything. It's what people do that actually matters. Keep asking the right questions. Ralph Waldo Emerson has a really quote. He said, better answers come to those who ask better questions. The questions that you ask yourself are very, very important. So, if you were overweight and you ask yourself the question all the time of why am I so fat, are you going to get skinny? No, a more empowering question would be, how do I get fit and stay healthy forever? Because your brain will, your subconscious will answer whatever question you give it. So ask an empowering question that leads you towards your solution. How did I get like this? Why is my compliance department such a pain in the ass? That doesn't help you solve the problem. But how can I work around them? How do I get this anyway? Helps you. You're never going to have a perfect business and you're never going to be done. Get over it. I asked Kevin Harrington, who some of you may know, he was on Shark Tank. He owns As Seen on TV, produces over half the infomercials on TV. Nicest billionaire you'll ever meet. I said, why don't you retire? You have more money than you could ever possibly spend. No matter how many wives you get. Why aren't you done? He said, no, I'm never going to be done. Because as soon as you reach that point, you set a new point. To keep yourself motivated, to keep yourself challenged. Frank Kern, who's a legendary internet marketer, had said he now drives a Prius. He made $47 million last year, and he drives a Prius. I wasn't a mastermind. I said, why? He said, well, I started out, when I first started making my money, my first campaign was for Neil Strauss, and I made a bunch of money, and I went out and got a Porsche. And then I had the Porsche for a couple months, and as soon as I had a Porsche, I wanted a Ferrari. So then I went out and I got a Ferrari. And a couple months later of my Ferrari, now I wanted a Lamborghini. Then I wanted a McLaren. He said, as soon as you buy one, there's always somebody who's got a better, bigger, faster car than me. So I buy a Prius, and now I don't envy anybody. I just think about how much money they waste in gas and repairs. That's a good point. Focus most of your time on your core strengths and less time working in areas you suck at. This might sound like a repeat of an earlier rule about work on your strengths and get someone else to do your weaknesses, but I put it in there twice because it needs to be. So make it easier for your customers to buy by taking away the risk of the transaction by guaranteeing what you do in a meaningful way. People are skeptical. You have to get them to overcome that by getting rid of the risk. So it's the best pizza it's the best Shamrock pizza you've ever had, or your money back. It's also the only pizzas they've ever had, so guaranteed it's the best, so you win. Just as an example. Try our new face cream. We guarantee that if your friends don't accuse you of actually having a facelift, you can return it. That was the Nancy Kwan Pearl Cream bottom of the jar guarantee, which sold millions and millions of dollars of her cream. And it was the first cream to actually have a guarantee. Number 22, always have something else to sell. Upsell, cross-sell, follow-up, whenever a transaction takes place. The best buyer in the world is one who just gave you money. The time they are most excited about doing business with you isn't when you deliver your fantastic product, it's literally when they first buy it. They are more excited when they first hand over the money than at any other time. So that's the right time. Don't wait till you've earned it. Don't wait till to ask for referrals till later. Ask them for more money or your referrals or whatever it is that you want from them now, the second they give you money. You can actually do this on their first meeting with you if you meet in person. You don't even have to wait till they give you money. I have financial advisors in my coaching program who still cold call even though I tell them not to. They said, well, if you're going to cold call, ask for referrals. So what do you mean? Ask for referrals on a cold call of someone who just said no? I said, sure. No, I don't want to invest with you. Who do you know who might? What's the worst they can say? They already said no. So always have something else to sell. Always go back to your existing customers with more offers. It is 5 times less expensive to sell to happy customers than it is to go find new ones. So what of your customer, go through your customer list, and who doesn't own everything you've got? All of them. Nobody owns everything you have. Do they own, okay, you got their financial investments. Do you have their insurance? Do you have everything else? They did a dog training session with you. Did they buy the collar? Did they buy the book? Did they buy the CD? Did they buy an autographed t-shirt from you? Nobody owns everything. So get them to buy other stuff from you. And if you run out of stuff to sell them, well, A, call me. And B, then go sell them somebody else's stuff. Okay, so I went through Gary's golf coaching program, and he only had one. Doesn't have any more. Well, are there other people, golf coaches Gary likes? And other DVDs or whatever? Sure, the swing trainers? Sure, okay, well sell me a putting green made by at Dick's to put in my backyard. Sell me the tent so I can practice my driver. He doesn't have to make it to sell it to me, become an affiliate. I am teaching the first college course in direct response marketing in Madai now. And none of these kids have their own product. They thought they were getting strategic management. The second half of a class they already took last semester, where they learned from a textbook, regurgitated from a test, and then forgot it all. And instead, they got me. And I'm teaching them the way you pass my class is you build a functioning website by the end of class that has generated sales. And none of them came up with their own products, so they're all affiliates. So they're an affiliate of Beachbody for the workouts. Or there's a group of 5 girls who are affiliates of Sephora makeup, so they built a site to sell Sephora makeup. Or there's a girl who works out and she's an affiliate of a protein powder. So it doesn't have to be your product, because sell them somebody else's product and get a commission on it, and it's no work for you. Fire your most annoying customers. Nature abhors a vacuum, they will get replaced by better ones. Follow the 80-20 rule. 80%, the top 20% of your customers generate 80% of your revenue. The bottom 20% of your customers cause you 80% of your headaches and your stress. We call them PDUP accounts, pain in the ass. Fire them and replace them with happy people who make you happy to work with. Because life is too short to deal with the stress. And even if they're paying you something, they're not paying you enough, no matter what they're paying you. The marketplace and your competitors will always try and make you a commodity. Don't let that happen. A commodity is something that they can get from anywhere else, so they can shop on price. We have a member of this group who isn't here this month because he's off playing golf somewhere warm. And he's in the print and promotional products business. So I'll put your logo on a pen, on a t-shirt, on a fleece, on a golf club, whatever. Polo shirt. And he said, this doesn't work. We're a commodity. They can go get pens from China. They can go get pens from 20 other places. I get beat up on price all the time. It's 99 cents versus 98 cents. And I got to cut my price. He said, that's because you're being viewed as a commodity. What if you were a consultant and showed them how to use promotional products in their business to get more sales? Well, now all of a sudden, of course they're going to buy from you because you gave them the idea on how to use it, But now all of a sudden they're not shopping anywhere else because you're the only one giving them ideas to build their business, as opposed to just saying, yeah, I got pens too. Do you want blue or black? I had, in my financial advisory firm, we had a client who owns a strip plaza in Niagara Falls. And for the last 15 years, he's been about to sell his strip plaza for millions. Every year, I'm about to get the big check. It hasn't happened in 15 years. He's finally getting the big check. He really is this time. And it turns out his brother's a financial advisor. But he doesn't have a relationship with his brother. So we've been representing him for the last 15 years, and we're still going to represent him on this large windfall. Except the brother, being a financial advisor, who's now back in his life, is interviewing all the financial advisors. So being a financial advisor, he's asking questions that the client would never ask. And the first question is, what's your price? What's your percentage that you're going to charge? And he said, it doesn't work that way. I said, what do you mean it doesn't work that way? He said, I can't tell you what my price is because we haven't built a proposal yet. We don't know what we're using. Yeah, but you got a price. Everybody's got a price. What are you going to charge? No, because you're just price shopping. Price is an issue in the absence of value. I haven't figured out what value we're delivering, so I can't tell you what we're going to charge. Yeah, but legally you have to have this fee schedule. And I said, then you got the wrong firm, if that's what you care about. And I'd rather lose the business and not have to deal with the guy who's a pain in the ass. Because this guy is an easy client. His brother, if he's going to be back in his life, is apparently a pain in the ass. Maybe that has something to do with why they didn't talk for 20 years. So don't be a commodity. Develop and build your business's personality so it stands out. People want to buy from people. The #1 marketing sin, in my opinion, is being boring. So don't be boring. People want to be entertained, so entertain them. This is why there's a guy who has a little kiosk near the airport with little ads, and Janet's twitching with a chicken. It's not boring. Now, I personally have no idea what a chicken has to do with jewelry. They've never made that connection in the ad. I don't get it. I don't know why the chicken's there, other than it's yellow and it's going to get my attention. But he's not being boring, which is why his kiosk is still there and hasn't been bulldozed over.
As is now the showroom. It's not just the kiosk anymore. Now it's the showroom.
Really?
Yes.
I don't watch many ads.
Yeah, but somebody has a duck out there beating up the chicken too, so.
Really?
Yeah.
I gotta watch more TV. I gotta stop skipping past the commercial. Okay, number 27, create your own category so you can be the first and only presence in your customer's mind. So you've got to be the only one who does what you do, and I guarantee you, no matter what business you're in, there's a way to rebrand it so you're the only one. Domino's did it with pizza. They weren't in the pizza business, they were in pizza delivery. Because 30 years ago, you had to go pick up your pizza. Now you have to sit home and get it because of time. Go the opposite direction your competitors are headed, you'll stand out. If there is no good example of someone in your industry that you wish to emulate, look at what everyone else is doing and go the opposite way. Because most of them are stupid. It's called marketing incest. Everybody copies everybody else and gets dumber. Number 29, collaborate with other smart entrepreneurs if they have futures that are even bigger than their present. So you either want people to hang out with who have futures bigger than yours, or who also are aspiring. Because if you just work with people who are, hang out with people who are bumps on a log, you will become a bump too. You are the average, your income is the average of the 5 people you spend the most amount of time with that aren't like your wife. So you all need better friends, is my assessment. Celebrate your victories. It's too easy to move on to your next goal without celebrating the win. You need to take time to feel good when you do something right. Because otherwise, most people are too critical of themselves, spend too much time beating themselves up. The more time you spend celebrating the wins, the more wins you'll have. Make your business and doing business with you fun. You should be excited to get up in the morning and go to work every day. When you wake up at 3 in the morning to write down an idea I gave you, you should be happy about it. If you're not, it means you're doing something wrong because you're not having any fun. The whole point of being in any business is to have fun and obviously make money and serve people. But if you don't have any fun, eventually you'll stop doing it. Do the unexpected before and after anything goes wrong so customers will share your story. There was a very famous case, I forget the guy's name, but he was a musician and he was on, I forget what airline it was, but he took his guitar and in a guitar case, and I think it was United. United lost or broke his guitar. They wouldn't replace it, they wouldn't refund it. He complained many, many times and never got anywhere. So he shot a YouTube video, because he's a songwriter. He wrote up a song about United broke my guitar. If you Google it or YouTube it, you can find it. And got millions and millions of hits on YouTube. It became viral, was a huge sensation. And now, if you Google whatever, if it's United, what the airline was, his stuff comes up, as opposed to just the airline's website. So, all they had to do was answer the phone and say, "I'm sorry," and that wouldn't have happened. But it got picked up in every newspaper, and it didn't have to happen. So, you want people sharing your story of how fabulous you are first, and if you do something wrong, you want them sharing the story of how you fixed it. Oh my God, I can't believe they forgot my cheesy bread. They came back with 2 orders and an extra case of beer. I can't believe it. And it was the man himself, or whatever. Like, my wife was surprised I delivered the food that day. She's like, "Oh, he didn't have to come here." I'm like, see, he was going. There's no competition along the extra mile. There really isn't. And everybody at our party said, "Where'd you get the food? Why were there 2 people delivering the food? Where'd you get it?" And oh my God, this is the best chicken we've ever had.
Thanks.
You're welcome. Get a life. Business and making money is important, but your life is a sum total of your experience. So go out and create an experience and an adventure so you can come back renewed and inspired for your next big thing. If all you do is work, there'll be no fun. You have to recharge your battery. And number 34, give it back. Commit to taking a percentage of your company's money or your salary or your profits and give it away. Give it to a charity that you feel passionate about, and make the checks scary to write, where you think, "I can't afford this." I guarantee you it will come back times 10. Because the amount that you give is minuscule compared to what you'll get back. Because it's the law of reciprocity, and it's how the universe works. I personally donate a lot of money to Kiva.org, which is a program that helps third world entrepreneurs get out of poverty. So you pick individual entrepreneurs, $25 at a time, and you can read their story, see their country, and say, "Oh, I want to buy a goat so that my family has goat's milk to drink, and I can sell the rest to other villagers. And I'm in Uzbekistan." Or I'm starting a not a convenient store, literally convenient, like chair, like that's how much space I have, and I need raw materials. Or I'm going to take grain and make bread, or whatever it is. You can see what they do and pick who you want to give money to. That's just mine. And I have, it's now packed up, but I did have, and Bruce will vouch for it, people who've been to my office will see all the pictures all over all the walls of all the people we've helped get out of poverty. So that is rule number 34. Those are the 34 rules to becoming a serial self-made multimillionaire. And that is our content for today.